Peace. Supreme Moonbeam in the house. We gonna get into a deep topic today. Voodoo Zombification. I know y'all like, what the F? Is this for real? Yeah, it's more real than a $5 bill. Are zombies part of Haitian history? Yes. Are zombies part of voodoo? Yes and no. Modern science has investigated this phenomenon but can't explain it. One thing we know for a fact that there are zombies in Haiti. There was a zombie who escaped captivity and broke down what he'd been through, but we're gonna get into that later. Zombification is a secret Haitian practice that is mostly performed in the backwoods and rural parts of Haiti. In these areas, the state police are either corrupt or ineffective. Also, the government has no control of these areas. These parts of the country have their own systems of law and order. Those that violate the most heinous crimes could become a victim of zombification as punishment. One could also become a victim of zombification if they are at the tail end of a curse by a boka or kaplata, which are black magic practitioners of voodoo. There is a concoction of herbs and other elements that are combined with spiritual infusions that create a powder that turns one into a zombie. This powder was taken to modern scientists to be broken down and examined, but to this day, they can't figure out how it works. There is a lot of skepticism when it comes to zombies. Most zombies never escape captivity. They are sentenced to a lifetime bid of manual labor and servitude. These individuals are presumed dead, and their families are unaware of their existence. There are official death certificates and medical documentations of their passing, so nobody is concerned about their whereabouts or well-being. The story of Clairvius Narcisse. In 1962, Clairvius went to the hospital. He had severe symptoms of a detrimental illness. He was suffering from a bad fever, coughing up blood, and most of his energy was drained. Clairvius was taken into the care of two American doctors who could not find out the cause of his illness. 3 days later, Clairvius was pronounced dead and put into a freezer. A couple of days later, he was buried with all his funeral arrangements. 18 years later, Clairvius returned to his village and encountered his sister. He told her of the horrific experience he had been through. After his burial, he was dug up by the boka who blew a powder into his face which caused his illness. During his time at the hospital, his body was temporarily dead, but his mind was still conscious. He was aware of everything going on up to his burial. After he was dug up by the boka, he was administered a paste that incapacitated his mind and will. He was sent to the sugarcane fields where he was forced to work alongside others that went through the same experience. He was regularly given the paste to keep his mind under the power of his captors. The reason Clairvius was chosen to be a victim of zombification was over a land dispute with his brother. His brother hired the boka to put Clairvius in that situation. Clairvius was zombified for 18 years until his captors died. Clairvius had a strong mind and was able to regain consciousness and recover his memory. Clairvius escaped the plantation and he returned to his village. His family members and friends remembered him and he was reunited with his community. Skeptics from the United States and Canada went to Haiti to talk to Clairvius. When they got there, they were given his medical papers which were created by American physicians. They also returned to the U.S. with the powder that caused his zombification, but they can't figure out how it works. Other forms of zombification exist. Don't think for a second that Haiti is just some backward primitive country that practices barbaric rituals and we are safe in our first-class civilized world. Modern scientists probably can't figure out how Haitians practice zombification, but similar things happen in all parts of the world. Magic is right under our noses, but we are so used to certain things that we take stuff for granted. The powers that be flood the streets with crack and dope. These narcotics have created zombies all over the world. Go to any hood across the United States and you will see people who have no control of themselves. They will do anything for their drug of choice. These people's spirits have been broken. A lot of them do not possess any material valuables. They walk around the city in a trance looking for their next blast. Their morals have been removed and their dreams shattered. They risk their life moment to moment with no regard for themselves or others. Megatons of these poisons are flooding the streets and turning neighborhoods into horror movies. These controlled substances are the foundation of the underground economy. These chemicals keep the people under control and make it difficult to rise up out of that world. Even those that don't participate in the culture suffer from this epidemic through relation. It's a vicious cycle. That's why it's important to practice your spiritual exercises to overcome the invisible powers that pray for your demise. Thanks for checking out this manifesto. Supreme Moonbeam. Peace.